Okay, so you're doing your first water change. Well, Aqua Guy UK is going to tell you how to do it. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to gravel clean. Plenty of videos for that. And this is about the amount of water that I take out, about a 40% water change. And the reason I do 40% is that way I've still got 60% in the tank. So I'm taking a lot of the impurities out, but I'm also leaving a lot of the good stuff in. You see I've got some snails there. I've got some blackbeard algae starting, which I'm going to deal with and do a video on that. But that's about the amount of water that I take out there. So when I'm doing that, I do my basic messing about with plants, whatever I want to do about that. And the first thing you want to do before you do your water change is clean all the glass, get all that cleaned, everything else, because that's now in the water column. So of course when you're draining it out, the water comes out with it. And as you can see, even though the water looks clear, it's actually very dirty. So that's something you want to do. Also make a note of the temperature, because what you're going to do is when you put your water back in, you've got to match the temperature and parameters. Now I know the water out of my tap is around 7.2 and the water in here is about 7, so I'm okay with that. There's some of the babies in there. Everyone should have rummy nose tetras. Great shoaling fish. Anyway, so in a minute I'm going to start filling the tank up. I'm not going to show you how I do that, don't need to, but make sure every parameter is identical to the water coming in. I'm also going to show you some of the products that I use, the dechlorinator and that, and also Cycle, which is a Fluval product, which is brilliant. I always add a little bit of that as well. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute. Hi guys, Aqua Guy UK here. We've got some updates we've got to do, and we've got some reviews to do, and we've got some more websites. As you can see, the fish tank's doing really well. A lot of life in there at the moment. We have got some hybrids in there. Basically, some of the guppies that gave birth, as you can see, there's some first and second generation guppies in there. I noticed some changes. Red one up there. I believe they're Endler hybrids, so I'm going to be doing something on that. I don't know if you can hear that buzzing. Very unimpressed with the ORs, I think that's how it's pronounced, 1,000 litre pump. That's what's running that, which is the EIM pre-filter. Now, I was going to put it onto the intake pipe, but it doesn't fit. So I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll stick a pump on it, see how we go. So that's what that is. Now, both these are 1,000 litres per hour. Okay. That one, homemade water polisher, does a great job. Completely silent. You cannot hear it. Now, yeah, they are a little bit more expensive, but you don't hear them. This sounds like I've been chewing a bag of wasps, so not overly impressed with that. Now we do have, there's a little Armano in there. I want to talk to you about how I do a water change and what I do afterwards. Now obviously you can see what I do with the water polisher. That is just a preference, you don't need it. I do that because the very substrate that I have in here is very dusty. It seems to build itself up, so what I do is I just run that for a couple of hours. That's just personal. Now, the first thing that I do when I'm doing a water change, which you'll see in the previous video, I drain it down to about 40%, leaving 60%. I check the water, make sure it's got the same pH, same nitrates going in and out. Now it should be 0, tap water's not. The legal limit they can give you is 50, which is in my opinion way too high. So what I do is I use rainwater. I'm going to do a little video on that later on, and how I propagate the rainwater as well, how I filter it, which is funny enough, using that. Now, going on, the Oasis, or ORs, I think it's called an Optimax 1000. don't bother. Go for the Eheim. The Eheim pumps, in my opinion, are far superior. And I am a Fluval buff. I love Fluval stuff. Everything in here, the tank, everything's Fluval. And I will go through some of the medications that I give it. Now, when I'm doing a water change of such extreme, oh, that shrimp has just shed its skin. How cool is that? Oh well. Anyway, I always put some calcium in there afterwards, but I'll show you that later. Now, the first thing I do when I'm doing that is, obviously you want a decent water conditioner, declarifier, takes all the rubbish out. I use this. This is the master conditioner. It is 100% safe. There's no smell to it, there's no nothing to it. I end up using a few capfuls of this, and I actually add it to the aquarium, not to the buckets. The reason for that is that's the water, and that's what I'm trying to protect. The next thing that I add generally when I'm doing a 40% water change is some of this. Now, this has got live bacteria in it. It's very good. Now, when you're doing a water change, you're taking obviously some of the minerals, same as everything, blah 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 blah. So I just add it. I only add a capful. You're not doing a full cycle, but it just gives it a buffer. Also add a bit of this if you're adding fish, because it will help everything take care of that. So the filter, everything. Now, I have been dosing. I have got a blackbeard algae. Not good, not good. Now, blackbeard algae isn't because my water's out. It isn't because the temperature's wrong. It isn't because there's no flow. It isn't any other reason apart from being brought in on something. Could be anything. Can't point fingers, won't point fingers. So, the best way I found is with hydrogen peroxide. Now, I'm going to show you a video on what and how I do that. And when you do hydrogen peroxide, you've got to be careful. Get the 3% one. I'm going to use a turkey baster, and I'm going to lower the water levels just to see how far we can go down to get it right. In the meanwhile, Seachem do, I think it's called Flourish Excel. That can also help, because that will raise the CO2. Blackbeard loves the CO2 issue that is caused by planted aquariums, so I'm going to deal with that. In the meanwhile, I've been using this. Now, this has basically stopped it in its tracks, but it's not killing it. So that'll be my next thing. And I do believe that if you're doing something, now Aquacadabra, which I'm going to put a link in there, are one of the best people for supplying stuff. Now, I don't use them because they're cheap. I don't use them because of any other reason. It's just that everything they sell makes sense. I trust them. They're always on time. They've never been late with anything, and their prices ain't bad at all. And when I say they ain't bad at all, I've never had an issue with them. They've always helped me out with any issues that I have. So I'm going to put a link for them. The caves, I'm going to put a link for them. The plants, I'm going to put a link for them. They've done me some equipment as well. And most of my stuff that I get, which is from the Fluval range, obviously I'm a bit of a Fluval buff, but I have tried other stuff. I just find it better. Now, to feed my plants, I use TMC root tabs and some of this. Not sure about this at the moment. We shall see. But as you can see, the plants are doing absolutely fantastic. I mean, they're just doing really well. So I'm quite chuffed with that. I did take some of the plants out purely because they were causing me that. Now it is a little bit misty. I do believe we have some eggs on there. White things there are little eggs. People have asked me about the heater position as well. Now, yes, it should be on the back, and yes, it should be like that, but we've got a new heater we're going to try. We have got some issues with that heater at the moment. I've had to return it, but I don't think it's an issue with the heater as much. Now, I've put it here for two reasons. I have found no difference in heat at all. There is no difference between that end and that end. And I believe it's because I've got it right next to where the outlet is. It's pushing the water around. But we're going to wait and see. Now, I will be doing a cleaning of the filter, and I'm going to show you the proper way to open the Fluval range without struggling. It is extremely simple. And for the heads up out there, next time you take the lid off your Fluval 06 range filter, they're all the same, when you unclip it, push the clips down and see what happens. And I'll give you some idea on how to do it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We will be doing some other updates on this, because I do believe, a little secret up there, there's another hybrid. So I want to see how they're going to do. Thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe, and if you like, you like. If you don't like, you don't like. But let me idea what you need me to do for you. If you've got anyone out there with new tanks having issues, let me know. And if you do want anything else to help out in this tank, just let me know. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.